Just because there has been no inquiry into grooming gangs in Scotland doesn't mean it didn't happen here.
You would sleep with them because they would say, we've been good to you, we've picked you up, we've gave you this, we've gave you that. At times it felt like you had to.
Now there is mounting evidence of the scale of the problem. She had been put onto a list along with 45 other young people identified as being vulnerable to sexual exploitation. And pressure is building on the Scottish Government.
Police Scotland is undertaking that work just now.
We're on a drive through Glasgow.
I'm sure it was one of these flats.
Our guide wants to be known as Taylor and asks that we disguise her voice.
That's it up there.
Taylor was raised in the care system and she's showing us the places she remembers being taken as a teenager to be sexually exploited by a group of men.
They would always get me drunk before I even got to where I was going. I remember a grey car, but it was all different cars. Some of them had leather seats. I remember it was winter one time and it was freezing. I had shorts on, pyjama shorts, and I remember sitting in the car and my legs were freezing.
And you were taken in here, would there be men waiting for you?
Yeah, obviously at that time you didn't realise what was happening. It's only when you get older you realise that it was pure wrong.
Scotland has never had an inquiry into grooming gangs. The government here says there's no evidence it's needed. But Taylor's experiences have all the hallmarks seen before in England.
A few times I woke up when I'd only been drinking alcohol, but I'd have no recollection of the night before. I was lying on like a dirty mattress on the floor, naked, with a cover over me. Other times I do remember, you would sleep with them because they would say, we've been good to you, we've picked you up, we've gave you this, we've gave you that. At times it felt like you had to.
For more than 15 years, she has suffered in silence, blaming herself for not reporting the abuse to police or care staff at the time, convinced nobody knew, so nobody could have helped her. But we have now seen Taylor's files from her time in care. These show in April 2013, Police Scotland visited her care unit as part of an inquiry regarding possible sexual exploitation by a group of, and then it's redacted. Taylor believes this will say Pakistani men. Police say Taylor's name had been mentioned in this and asked staff to be alert to strange cars or redacted around the unit. Just over a week later, it records staff at the unit are having difficulty keeping her safe owing to previous associations they are concerned she's involved in sexual exploitation. Did anyone speak to you about that at the time?
Nobody spoke to me about that. Not one member of staff, no police officer. My mum wasn't informed about that visit from the police. Not once was it mentioned.
But at that time, when the police came into your unit, you were being
sexually exploited? Yes.
Taylor says this news is particularly upsetting because her best friend from the care unit was also being abused by this gang, and she has since died from a drugs overdose.
I'm just realising that people have known about this. It's ruined my life. The older I've got, I've had to live with these demons for years. My friend from then, she's not here anymore.
Taylor's mum is here to comfort her daughter through this. She's also anonymous because she too is a survivor of abuse.
It's heartbreaking. I was raised in care and suffered abuse in care. My mother was raised in care and suffered abuse in care. So you're talking about 3 generations of women from my family that have all been in care and all experienced some sort of physical, sexual, neglectful abuse. So it's absolutely sickening.
Taylor's files reveal the possible scale of this because in 2013 it says she had been put onto a list along with 45 other young people identified as being vulnerable to sexual exploitation. But after this, she continued to disappear overnight, coming back to the unit under the influence of alcohol and drugs. There's no evidence that any extra measures were taken to protect her. What we can see is that staff at the care unit described her as disruptive, and she was encouraged to wear less fake tan and makeup and stop drawing attention to herself. We put this to Scotland's First Minister, who says he's now giving consideration to an inquiry. We've found evidence that in 2013 there was a list of 46 young people identified as being vulnerable to sexual exploitation, that police were making inquiries, but the young people themselves are telling us they were not spoken to.
Well, I have no knowledge of that.
You have no. Well, what are you going to do to find out about it?
If you give me those details, of course I'll look
well,
into it.
okay.
But Police Scotland is undertaking that work just now.
First Minister, the UK government instructed a rapid 3-month audit in order to understand how big grooming gangs were in England and Wales, and from that they instructed a national inquiry. Why have you not instructed that? Why do you not want to know how big it is here in Scotland?
Well, that is the work that is underway with Police
You
Scotland.
haven't inducted.
No, I'm sorry.
There's no rapid audit here.
Forgive me, Peter, and please, I'm very happy to answer your questions, and I'm trying to do so. That work is underway. That is what Police Scotland are doing.
Given some of these women have said that they were let down by Police Scotland, do you not think that they would lack faith in that process?
Well, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Police Scotland told us in a statement they would urge anyone who's been a victim of child exploitation to contact them. We asked them specifically what happened to this list of 46 young people at risk of sexual exploitation. They told us to put in a Freedom of Information request.
The people who are meant to keep us safe are denying an inquiry into this in Scotland. They think it stops at the border. There's plenty of information over the years to say this comes to Scotland and it's in Scotland. I've been there and I've lived it, and I'm telling them this is happening in Scotland.
Taylor has contacted police and been invited to make a complaint. After all these years, she's still waiting for them to finally ask her what happened in these places she was taken, so those who abused her can face justice, and those who failed her can be held accountable. Peter Smith, ITV News, Glasgow.